Very good. Hey everyone. This week I am here with Bill Artz. He's a board member of the American Pilgrims on the Camino. That's the National Pilgrim Association in the United States. Thank you for being here, Bill.
You are welcome, Ivar. I'm very happy to be here and happy to talk to you today.
That's nice. And you're in Chicago, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, because you were telling me there was a nice day in Chicago, and it's a very nice day in Santiago today too. So
Nice to be outside. Right?
Exactly. Can you be outside? How is that situation? Could you walk outside as you?
Well, I'm in my backyard. So
Okay.
I'm nice to be warmer in Chicago today. To be
Yeah,
outside.
but you're not in lockdown or anything. You can walk
No,
around.
no, no. We call it phase 2. We're starting to open up a little bit, similar to Spain, I think.
Yeah.
Pretty close, pretty similar here in Chicago.
Okay.
So as far as the impact of the virus in terms of we're just starting to get going here. So
Yeah. So I was wondering, like, how did you find out about the Camino? When was the first time you heard about it? Do you remember?
Yes, I do. I had to have eye surgery, and it was for a detached retina. And while I was recovering from the surgery, I had to sit for about a week or so in a chair with my head down, so I can only watch TV. I had limited mobility, so I could recover. So I watched the movie The Way, similar to what many pilgrims. That's how I discovered the Camino was through the movie, Martin Sheen's movie. And so what happened was, the funny thing is, in my first Camino, I did it by bicycle. So and what happened was when Joost, the Dutchman, is climbing up to what's after Pamplona,
the hill with the statues or the art thing like that?
Yeah. So he says, "What do you mean you can do this by bicycle? Why aren't we walking?"
Yeah.
So that gave me the idea, whether it was my guardian angel or whatever, it gave me the idea that I made a promise to God to do the Camino if I recovered from my eye surgery, and I did.
Yeah.
So about a year and a half later, I went on Camino for the first time.
That's nice, and you had a good experience.
Absolutely, yes, very much.
Even biking, because some people say if you bike, you don't get the same group feeling because you meet different people every day, and did you?
Yeah, and that's a very interesting perspective, actually. That's very interesting because I've done 2 Caminos. I did my first one in 2014 and my second one in 2017. 2014 by bicycle. No, you do not get the family experience, except in the evenings when you stop in the albergues and then you have people for a day and then you move on and you don't really see them again. And up until Ponferrada, I met someone from that lived in Barcelona that was doing it by bicycle, and we rode the rest of the way together. But I was alone most of the time, so it was very solitary. But that was good for me because I needed that time, internal time, to think.
Yeah.
The second one, much more social. We walked from León to Santiago. I didn't do it alone. I did it with my then girlfriend, now my wife, and it's obviously much more social experience. So I had the best of both worlds in a way.
Yeah.
And that it's both a really good perspective that similar to many pilgrims have both experiences, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you came home, and how did you get involved with the American Pilgrim Association?
Let's see. Well, my entree into American Pilgrims was during my first Camino. Similar, as by the way, I'm a fan of the forum. I think that's very helpful for first-time pilgrims and returning pilgrims.
Thank
for
you.
that matter.
Yeah.
Information purposes and sharing information. It's a wonderful forum.
Thank you.
With using your forum, I did a lot of study on the Camino before I went because I wanted to learn more about it. And so, sorry, this phone call coming. So I found out that there was an organization and there was a local chapter here in Chicago. So I went and the Chicago chapter does walks once a month, somewhere in the area. Mm-hmm. So I took a chance and I went for a walk, for a hike, to start to get familiar and get prepared. And so I met the chapter coordinator for the Chicago chapter, who was a wonderful man and very instrumental in my coming along and developing and preparing for my first Camino. So it was a really, really invaluable experience, his insight and experience, as well as others, that were there and talking about it. So it was very helpful. So after my second Camino, I'd stay kind of marginally involved, and about a year, John the coordinator had gotten ill, and he wanted to retire. So I got involved again with the chapter as a coordinator, and there was a spot open on the board, and I just happened to apply for it, and now here I am on the board.
That's nice.
But it's a wonderful organization. It really is.
Yes.
It's a really great organization.
And it's huge. I mean, I don't know the numbers. Do you know how many people are how many pilgrims you have in the association?
Well, I mean, there's members, and then there's people that participate in the chapters, and then there's our Facebook group, there's many, over 20,000 people that in various forms or another.
So you can be a part of the chapter without being a member. Is that right?
That's correct. You can be a participant and be included in things. We don't exclude non-members from any chapters or anything like that. Membership is really about supporting the Camino, and having access to the information on the website. But primarily, it's about supporting the Camino and Camino infrastructure. Yeah. Whether it's through program, we have a grant program that we provide funds to albergues and people that request. Ways to improve the albergues. We do donations to various Spanish entities that are involved with infrastructure and whatnot. So it's a very invaluable. But that membership dollars really go to primarily support the grant program.
How much is it? How much is it to be a member? Do you remember what the?
I think an individual membership is around $50 for a year.
For a year, yeah.
Family, I think it's more for like $75 for a family member.
And if you're a member, of course, you can go to the various events that you have, and go to all the things.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you get if you're a member? What do you get for that?
I think for the first time pilgrim, what you get for the membership, I mean, is really access to all the information on the website.
Yeah.
Right. So you can get, and you can access, you also have access to contacting other pilgrims, other members in the area if you want to learn about the Camino. And so that, and then you get introduced into the all the things you start to learn about the Camino from those information. Because one of our missions is primarily to provide information for people that are interested in the Camino. So that's for first time pilgrim. That's the value of the membership, is really the access to the information, and also the community of pilgrims, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So that gives you that. But like I said, and then also you're supporting the Camino infrastructure.
So of course you're one big Camino association, but like we have been talking about these chapters, there's smaller groups, chapters all over the U.S. How many chapters do you have? Do you remember?
Yes, we have, I think, 60 chapters today.
60 chapters.
Located throughout the entire U.S.
So what is a typical activities that a chapter would do? What is it? Some activities that they would organize. Is it depending on? Does each chapter decide what they want to provide of events, or is it more like a set thing that you do on all the chapters?
It really is incumbent upon the coordinators for that chapter in terms of how many activities they have and the interest of the people that are involved in that particular chapter. So it's really up to them. There are obviously the organization, the umbrella organization, provides support for developing the new chapters, for helping coordinators with programs and doing various activities and things like that. They'll give them ideas. We supply ideas and what other, we have access to all these other people, and we see what works and how things are helping out people what are interested in. But really, it is up to the individual chapters to decide how they want to, how often and how frequently and where and when they want to get together. I know in Chicago, I think we have a pretty robust chapter. And we do various things. We definitely hold, like I said earlier, the once a month hike somewhere in the area. Mm-hmm. We've done various other activities that related to the Camino. Like if there's a Camino movie that comes to town, we may go and do that. Not that we would support the movie, but it's just that it's an opportunity for us to do that. So yeah, there's coffee meetings. There's obviously Zoom meetings and
That's
things.
right.
People are doing virtual Caminos together and all kinds of things. It's amazing. Over the last 2 months, how much technology has fostered different approaches to keeping people socially connected. And the Pilgrim community is so connected, right? I mean, if you're in the family, you people that enjoy it and it is a part of their life, it's very much a community. So I think it's just amazing what people have done with their imaginations.
And I could see it on the forum too. People are doing virtual Camino. They post pictures, one picture a day.
Right.
It's like they just want to live the experience, no matter what. It's amazing how they find some way of living the experience, even if they can't travel to Spain right now.
Right.
So I was looking at the map, and I see there's chapters all over, but there are some spots where there's no chapter. Is it like one? Because on the board, are you kind of the one running the chapters? Did I get the?
I'm one of the people I'm on the committee for chapters.
Yep,
There's two other board members, Carmen Marriott and Barbara Zhang, who are also with me on the committee. Yeah. And we have some other key volunteers that help us. But
because for example, I saw that
chapters. Very, very, very time consuming and challenging.
Yes, because I saw, for example, in South Dakota, North Dakota, there's no chapter. There's in Montana. I was thinking Montana. There shouldn't be a lot of hikers in Montana, right? Isn't there any?
Well, there's a lot of people in Montana. Maybe a lot of cows in Montana, but there's not a lot of people.
Maybe, yeah. So there's no
really
Yeah, because I was thinking, is there like one spot or a town or a city where you're like, oh, we should get it. Like we should have a chapter there because there's nothing.
Well, here's a little bit about that. It's not dependent on, we're not looking to, while we do look at distance from chapters and where we don't really say, well, we want to put a chapter here. Okay. It's really driven by people that are interested in the area and they want to basically be a part of the organization. So that's how it's been developed over the last 10 years. We've grown substantially in the last 5. I know for sure. Yeah. And this really corresponds to the interest in the Camino. Yeah. But really not driven by, while we look at when someone applies, there are some standards for applying for a chapter. We have standards for each chapter. We want people to have a certain set of rules and regulations, if you will, or just things about, how to run a chapter effectively, right? Yeah, I think that's really what it's about. And so it's really not driven by us. It's really driven by people out there, that are interested and want to have a chapter. So, and that's really how it happens. So, where you have high density area, high population areas, like here in Chicago, if you look there's a chapter in South Bend, there's a chapter in Chicago, there's up in Wisconsin. It really is maybe 100 miles, which is 150 kilometers or so apart. So, we just kind of keep it a little bit of distancing among the chapters, but some areas like high density areas like Southern California, there's 3 chapters. We just split into 3 chapters. Yeah. So
so it's not a lot of. Is it difficult?
Because the membership the participant, the chapters become so large, and become unwieldy and difficult to manage. So it's very much more time consuming for those people that are involved in those chapters.
Because they're volunteers as well, of course. The people that run the chapters. Yes. So if they get too big, I can understand. It's a lot of work. Yeah. So is it difficult to start a chapter? Let's say someone is listening to this and they're like, I want to start a chapter. What do they need to do? What is the procedure?
There are some requirements. I think there has to be one initial meeting for people, and there's some other things they have to go in terms of interest and the documentation around. Who's going to be the coordinators and basically understanding what's involved in running the chapter. We provide them with information. There's a chapter handbook that people look at and can reference for how things should be done and organized. So, and then there's a board vote. Yeah. If they meet all the requirements, then we bring it to the board for a vote. We get them ready, get all the documents prepared, and then there's a board vote, and we vote on it. And we've done it 60 times. So
that's
far.
Right. Exactly.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. So the gathering for this chapters, are they mostly for new pilgrims, or are you also having events for like people that have walked it like 5, 6 times? Are they also coming? Who are coming to these meetings?
The gatherings or
The
chapters?
gatherings, I guess. Yes.
There's a
Yes.
national gathering, and really part of our mission and values is gathering pilgrims, right?
Hmm.
So we do a national gathering, and it really everyone is invited. Everyone is invited to come. There's no restrictions on you. Don't have to be a member to come, and it really does gather pilgrims from everywhere. I was just in Lake Tahoe in March for my first gathering, and it's a wonderful experience. People from all over. There are people that have participated in gatherings since the beginning of the organization. They have a lot of good history. It's fun to talk to those people about how things
That's
have
nice.
developed.
So do you have then talks and things like that, or is there?
I mean, we have people come in. For example, we had George Grenia, and he did a talk on the Camino. We have some other people that came in, people that are involved, writers, authors. We have a gentleman who does a podcast who was a performer and came all the way from Australia, Dan Mullins. There's a variety of people that come and we have it's a really good time, and it's really Camino, devoted to the Camino. The program is about the Camino. You learn various things. There are seminars on how to pack, how to take care of your feet, talking about the history of the Camino, all kinds of different topics. Basically.
Yeah. That's nice.
Alexander was last year, did a talk. Alexander wrote a book about returning from pilgrimage, which is a very interesting book. So he did a talk last year. So we get noted authors and people that are involved in the Camino in some manner.
That's
basically.
nice. That's nice.
And then there is the camaraderie and the community of pilgrims. People come from all over the United States. We get people from Canada. Australia, so there's numbers of people come even from outside the U.S. come to the game.
I was wondering about that. If you actually do you have members from outside of the U.S.?
You can, if people are interested. I mean, I know on the Facebook page, I know people are out. When I did my Caminos, people were familiar with American Pilgrims just from the Facebook page, Facebook page.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, if people wanted to become a member and be involved and help support the Camino, that's one way of doing it. So
that's great. Now, really,
we're not restricted to citizenship. We're not checking your citizenship.
No, I understand. Okay, but you think like you have a magazine, right? For something like that, like say.
Yeah, that's something we do a newsletter, communication, providing information. There's a quarterly, I think it's quarterly newsletter that comes out, La Concha, which Barbara edits, and. Again, people send stories about their Caminos, poetry. There's all kinds of different information in the news.
But that's it.
And members get the advantage of having the access to that as well.
That's a paper. Is that a paper or is it a PDF?
It's a PDF, or you can view it online. Online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get email. Members get an email to them. When it's once a quarter.
I understand.
And then also on the webpage.
So you don't get it in the mail. There's not a physical magazine.
It's a electronic.
Very good, very good. Now, related to what we're going through now, we're recording this.
The other thing we do, just so you know, is we do provide credentials for people.
Oh yes.
So for no cost.
Yep.
So people that are interested in going, they apply to us and we send them their credential with their name on it, with the American Pilgrim logo on it. Mm-hmm. So that's important, especially coming from the U.S.
Yeah,
that's the primary thing that we do is provide that service to people that are going on Camino.
Do you actually write the name?
Obviously, not people applying for credentials right now, but
no,
we do.
But
we do.
And you write the names because I know the Pilgrims office in Santiago. I think a long time ago you had to write the name of the pilgrim in the passport before you could give it to them. Do you guys do that still?
I don't know if we write the names, and I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
I can. No, I don't know.
I was just curious.
Yeah. No, I don't know if we do or not
But I'm
anymore,
sure you
to be
send out a
honest.
lot of credentials every year because there's a
Yes, we
lot
do.
of pilgrims
We do.
coming through. Now we're
Yeah.
recording this on May 27th, which is in 2020. We're in the middle of the pandemic, the COVID-19 virus. Have you communicated anything about that to your members? Do you know if the American Pilgrims have like an official communication to
We
pilgrims on what to do and when to go and when not to go? Or do you recommend? Do you know anything about that? Or
we have communicated the way we have communicated, the manner we've communicated information around COVID is to basically advise pilgrims to go to the CDC, go to those, institutional web pages to get the best advice.
yeah,
The WHO, those kinds of things. We don't offer or provide any advice around what we think people should be doing and how to approach
yeah,
going.
yeah,
And matter of fact, there, it was we had a national gathering right in the just about at the onset of here in the U.S.
yes,
And it was a very difficult decision for us to have to work through that because obviously we were most concerned with people's health and safety,
yeah,
and our ability to get home as well because things were starting to shut down.
yes,
So there was a lot. There was a lot of stress on us in terms of just trying to make sure, but we pulled it off and we had the gathering. Obviously some people didn't come; they chose not to. But
sure,
and we didn't. I don't think we heard anybody had contracted the virus at the gathering. So
yeah.
not that I know of, at least.
No, but that's good.
So we were successful and we kept people safe and we got them home safely. Everybody got home safely. So
That's nice.
very
Yeah.
successful.
Do,
But
do you have a
yeah, I mean,
feeling for
we,
how does Americans?
we struggled with
Yeah. Sorry.
we struggled with how to this very question on how to communicate it, and we decided that basically we were going to use and advise people to go to those places where the most important critical
Yeah.
places like the CDC,
Yeah.
like the State Department, U.S. State Department, like the
Yeah.
whole thing. So
That's good.
in the middle of it. So, and I think what we try to do on our Facebook page is try to minimize the amount of
Speculation and
speculation.
yes,
Speculation
yes,
around what should happen, right? I mean,
yes,
so we just will supply some official information that is either coming out of the Spanish government or something like that, and we'll post it on the Facebook page. But
yeah.
we generally we prefer people not to speculate on what they should do
We do something
because
similar. Yeah. On the forum, because it's suddenly like I heard that someone had a vaccine, and if you eat this and drink this, and then it gets out of hand, and you don't know what's true or not.
right. So
Yeah.
so we're careful about, and we want people to stay safe and obviously healthy, and we obviously at some point want people to go back
Yeah.
and be able to experience the Camino. Obviously, it's going to be different,
Yeah.
right? And there'll be changes, but
Yeah.
nothing stays the same. There are always changes, regardless, and people will adapt, I'm sure, and we'll all go back and we'll all have the Camino to enjoy again. It's been around for a long, long time.
That is true. Now,
It's not going.
Spain was pretty hard hit with the virus. Do you have a feeling how does the Americans see Spain now? Do you have a feel for that? Do you feel like
Spain's feel about the Americans.
well,
Could be both ways around.
let's not go into that.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
No, it's very, very difficult situation for both countries, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a very, very, very challenging times we live in that regard. We all want to be careful. We hope that people make the good decisions and we have success in re-implementing and restarting things, and at some point along the line we'll have some ways to treat it and have a virus. I mean, I think those are things that we can hope for.
Yeah, that's true. Very good. I will add some links in the description below the video for the American Pilgrims Association, American Pilgrims on the Camino, and anything else that you want to tell people if they're interested in getting, getting involved in a chapter or getting involved in the association. What should they do?
I think they should go to the webpage and look at it and explore. There's lots of information, and there's ways to contact people. You can contact there's contact information on the American Pilgrims webpage, AmericanPilgrims.org, that you can find a local chapter that you're interested in and talk to someone about getting involved. So, and we highly encourage you to do that.
That's nice. Good. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
It was good to meet you.
Same.
I look forward to seeing you in person someday.
Yes, if you're in Santiago next time, you let me know and we'll have a coffee.
Hopefully next year.
All right.
Hopefully next year.
Ciao.
All right.
Ciao.
Thank you.